Good morning, everybody. We have a mostly higher trade in the grain markets here early on Friday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. March corn futures up 3 cents at 5.44. March soybeans are up 6.5 at 13.74. March Chicago wheat unchanged at 6.33.5. March Kansas City wheat is up 2 3/4 at 6.13 3/4. March spring wheat up 1.5 at 6.17 3/4. Remember, guys, the grain markets are closed on Monday in observance of the President's Day holiday. So, following a normal close today, we will reopen Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. To get into some of the news here, corn and soybean export sales remain very strong. When you get into we had a nice looking report again yesterday. When you get into the numbers here, total corn sales for the marketing year, 57.5 million metric tons. That's the commitment. They are up 102% versus last year. They're up 19% versus the prior, what I would call the modern era record, which was 2008, 2009 for this particular week. We may have had some better stuff back in the mid 90s. My charts don't go back that far, but excellent sales there. Total soybean sales for the marketing year, 59.5 million metric tons. They're up 80% versus last year. They're up 17% from the previous all-time record, which was the 16-17 marketing year. So the export book for both crops looks fantastic. Shipments for soybeans look good. Shipments for corn are going to pick up, I think. So really strong export stuff continues here. Spring insurance guarantees for corn and soybeans are on pace to be very, very strong. So as of yesterday's close, the February average for December corn was near 451. That would be up 63% from last year's guarantee, which was 388. The November soybean average was 11.65 at yesterday's close. That would be up $2.48 from last year's guarantee of 9.17. So after today's close, your pricing period will be more than halfway done. Remember, there's no markets on Monday, and then you've only got, I think, 9 trading days left following today's close. So the row crop farmer is being set up for a really nice year in 2021. There's some really strong revenues that should be able to be protected, assuming that the markets hold together. And even if the markets fall flat on their face here the next 2 weeks, you're probably still going to have a much better guarantee than what you had last year. NOPA will release January crush data on Tuesday morning. Traders estimate that U.S. processors crushed 183 million bushels of soybeans in January. If realized, that would be the best for any January on record, and it would be the third best for any month on record. Crush margins were really strong through most of December. They've backed off since then. So you could see some weaker crush numbers potentially down the road, but Tuesday's numbers should be very, very, very good. USDA continues to project a record crush number for the marketing year. 2.2 billion bushels is what USDA is projecting, and that would account for 48% of total soybean demand, and crush typically accounts for about half, but that 2.2 billion represents a record for any year in regard to crushed soybeans here in the U.S. if realized. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but the Brazilian government early yesterday morning increased its corn and soybean production estimates. They just increased the bean production number marginally, 133.8 up from 133.7 basically last month. USDA is at 133. The corn crop 105. 105.5 up from 102.3 last month. I'm not sure for the revision, why they made the revision there. Maybe they've had some more rainfall. They think that the crop will be a little bit better. But remember, a lot of that second corn crop hasn't been planted. Those projections both, if realized, would represent new records. Last year's record bean crop was 126, so their estimate would be up 6% from that if realized. The corn production number would exceed last year's record of 102 by like 3% if realized. So the Brazilian government looking for some pretty big crops. Same thing with the Argentina government. The Rosario Grain Exchange was out, I believe, yesterday. They increased their estimate for the country's soybean crop to 49 million metric tons, up from 47 previously. That's a fairly sizable jump. USDA is at 48. The corn crop was pegged at 48.5, up from 46 previously. The exchange said in a report that rains in recent weeks had been a turning point in the season and have basically alleviated drought fears. So you're seeing crop estimates both in Brazil and Argentina rising slightly. Wanted to talk a little bit about the weather situation here. The government had its new drought monitor out yesterday. And what's very clear here, I'll put this up on screen, is that drought remains very much in place across the northern plains, parts of the western corn belt, the southern plains, and then certainly the western and southwestern parts of the country. But in regard to corn, soybeans, and wheat, I mean, the areas that we're concerned about, of course, would be this area here: North Dakota, South Dakota, southern Minnesota, western Iowa is very dry. All of Nebraska is very dry. The northern and northwest part of Kansas, far western Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle, those areas continue to be very, very dry. Now, in terms of drought relief, I don't know necessarily that there's a ton of it out there. This is the forecast for expected rainfall between now and February 28th, which essentially takes you to the end of the month. And you look at these dry areas, the Dakotas, very, very little precipitation in the forecast. Western Iowa, maybe a little bit here. Most of Nebraska, basically nothing. Most of Kansas, basically nothing. So this is not an issue right now, but you fast forward a month and a half, 2 months, and we still have these dry conditions here. I think that it could mean something for the row crop markets. I'll be about the last person on the planet to ring the drought alarm. I feel like it's talked about like every year that we're going to have a drought, and there's always some sort of forecast out there. So I'm always very, very hesitant to even first off show you those maps, and second off talk about it. But it's something that could matter down the road, certainly. The cattle market finished yesterday kind of mixed. There was some cash trade. I think I heard 114 to 114 and change in the South, which was kind of close to where we were last week. So we'll see if anything in addition develops here today. In the box beef, it was mixed. We were down $1.27 in the choice boxes, and we were up a little bit in the select boxes. And the outside markets here this morning, we have the S&P down 6 points. The Dow is down 30. The precious metals a little bit lower in gold, a little bit higher in silver. The U.S. dollar is just a little bit higher this morning. Crude oil is down 46 cents at 47.87. And we have the bonds just a little bit lower. If you guys would like some more information, visit my website, www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan in the upper right-hand corner. For $49 a month, I will send you my morning email, which goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central. I'll send you all my grain marketing recommendations, any overnight headlines that you need to be aware of, all that stuff. Certainly check it out. There's no obligation. You can cancel at any time. Everybody have a great weekend. Remember, no markets on Monday, so I will talk to you Tuesday morning.